Hey guys, and welcome to another video. Today I just got the Alpha Loom. Ta-da! And I haven't opened it yet actually. It's really fancy looking. And I just realized I'm gonna need a scissors to open it, so should have thought that through better. But anyways, let me just introduce you to everything before I open it. Personalize, customize, accessorize. Alpha Loom by that was a voice crack. By the makers of Rainbow Loom. It's got a loom. It's got a bunch of stuff. Includes one Alpha Loom and Alpha Comb, which is like a very weird. It's like a bunch of hookies that look like a comb, so you can hook multiple things at once. One metal Rainbow Loom hook, which is just like the tan one you'd get with the new metal Rainbow Loom. The new plastic Rainbow Loom that comes with a metal hook. And 1,200 latex-free rubber bands and 48 C-clips, plus one instruction manual. So yeah, that's double the amount of bands they usually give you in a Rainbow Loom kit. And the reason for that is probably because, you know, it's an Alpha Loom, and as you can see, it makes really thick band-heavy using bracelets. And I want to point out the one on the front uses normal Rainbow Loom bands. Not sure if you're able to see the details well, but it uses normal Rainbow Loom bands and not the, you know, super tiny, cute little Alpha Loom ones they give you in the kit. So if you have normal Rainbow Loom bands, they'll work just fine. You just gotta cap them. And yeah, I also got a package of just plain white Alpha Loom bands. And they're so tiny! Oh my goodness! They're just so tiny. This is what a normal band looks like. And in the middle, I'm positioning Alpha Loom band. They're literally half the size of the band, usually. Like, let me cap this and then compare them. I mean, these are like a little tinier, but I don't know how the stretchiness of this is yet. I'm gonna have to try that out in this video. But here's what the packaging looks like with the Alpha Loom bands, and here's what it looks like normally. So there is a slight difference. It's all encased in this weird like outer plasticky coating. I don't know why. And right here, this is normal, you know, Rainbow Loom bands. And another thing I'd like to point out is they give you 500, not 600, but they give you 70 clear bands to like bind your bracelet together with this kit, and 24 C-clips, which is the normal amount of C-clips. But yeah, this is just the plain pack. And now I'm going to open this baby up and then look at it for the very first time. Hello, I'm back on the review rug. So I'm going to call this rug the review rug, because I do a lot of my other non-looming stuff here, like product reviews, yada yada. But anyways, now that I've cut this with the help of my mother, because I don't cut well, apparently, I'm opening this up. I did open it up a little bit, didn't really look in it though, just to see, make sure there weren't any other tapes that I had to cut. But basically, the only tape that I had to get was like in the front, like right here-ish. But anyways, but first I see this little instruction-y booklet. Let's take a look at that. Excuse me. Alright, let me open this baby up. Ooh! They give you like pattern gridness. Awesome. They give you all of the alphabet, capital and lowercase. And they give you a bunch of these little things that you can cut out and measure your wrist with. And yeah, it even gives you child and adult measurements, even though it's just easier to, you know, wrap it around your own wrist to test it out yourself. And I will tell you where you can go to make, you know, your own designs, like on a computer, and print them out off a computer. But if you run out of this stuff, you can always use graph paper, although the boxes seem goodness, excuse me, although the boxes seem a bit bigger on graph paper than here, so just adding that. But if you were to use graph paper, you want to count out how many squares you use here, and then count that same amount of squares on graph paper. Anyways, I hope I explained that well enough. And then right here, it shows you how to use it. First off, you cut your design and you get it ready. And yeah, you just place your bands, do it as you would Whoa! What is going on here? They're fancy. They're getting real fancy. Okay, you can either do it like this, apparently, or on your comb thingy, although that scares me far too much to actually do. So I think I'm just going to stick with doing this. It's just what I normally do when it comes to designs like this, like on the monster tail or whatever. But anyways, and here's my secret code. I haven't scratched it off yet, so yeah, I don't really use them, honestly. The member zone, it's been a little funky with me a while ago, so I kind of just gave up on it, even though I'm sure it works perfectly fine now. They've probably definitely fixed it. But anyways, ugh. I like how they give you this box with like the little indents in it, so you can actually like carry this around, and it's not like other crafting boxes where they like seal everything in with like 20 wraps of like tape, and it's just like, stop it. Anyways, now here's the little baggie of bands they give you. They just cut off the little tag they normally have. This looks like the same type of bag that you store normal bands in, except with this thing cut off. And inside of this bag, this reminds me of the original twist bands kit, because it only came with, you know, limited colors. The twist bands didn't come with these specific colors, but the ones given to you here are black, white, yellow, red, and then dark blue. But yeah, the reds appear to be like normal reds from like the normal mix pack. Same with the yellows and the whites and the blacks, but the blue appears to be rather dark. It's probably like the same hue of blue that comes with the colored C-clips that Rainbow Loom sells. And yeah. Do they sell red colored? Yeah, I think so. So the red should match also on the black and the white, obviously. Although I don't think there were yellow colored C-clips. But anyways, that's all I have to mention. And there are double the amount in here, 1,200, because, you know, they're tinier and you'll need a lot for this type of kit. Up next, we have this separate little baggie of C-clips. They are normally sized C-clips. Here's a normal bag of C-clips. Here's this bag of C-clips. They're the exact same thing. Nothing different here. Although if you want, you can use big C-clips if you have them, but they don't come with this kit. And then the clear bands in here, taking a closer look at them, they do not appear to be like any larger than normal clear bands that you'd get separately on rainbowloom.com. So if you have normal clear bands and you end up running out with your kit, then you can just use the same ones. But yeah, in here, let me check the box. It says 1,200 latex-free rubber bands. Okay, I think that includes both these bands and these bands. So combined, they're like 1,200 apparently. This is, my guess is, compared to the ratio on here, this is 70 to 500. So that's about 100 to 500. So I'd say, I'm not good at ratios. Maybe like approximately, very approximately 200 to 1,000. I really don't know. I need to look at this closer and count better. But anyways, there's that. Comes with this fancy little comb. So you can like do this thing where you just reach in and you comb it to lift your bands up and over and yada yada. So there's that. And here's this little pick thing on the other side, probably to like reorganize your bands. Like if your bands like twist over each other or anything weird like that, then this little thing can help reorganize them. At least that's what I think it'll be like. There's a little finger mark right here. Yeah, that makes sense. It really is like a finger mark. But yeah, there's that. Very interesting design, a very interesting comb. I wonder if they could use this on a hair like a dingle hopper. Anyways, next is this hook. It's brand spanking new. I'm so happy because this other hook I have is rusting profusely. Won't zoom in, but it's really rusty. It's black even in some parts, but yeah. It still works really well. I'm not trying to like put down Rainbow Loom or anything like that. I'm just saying it's rusted, probably because of the humidity and my hands sweat, and I like to keep my fingers up near the top when I loom. So, it's probably my fault mostly, but either way, brand spanking new. I'd like to test this thing out, see if it rusts as much, since my other one I got like right when these came out, so they might have changed the metal. I doubt it though, I don't know. But overall these like weigh the same thing. It doesn't seem like they changed it at all. I don't know. Well, it wouldn't have made sense for them to make a separate hook, especially for this kit, but it still has the loom base remover, so you can use this on your regular Rainbow Loom as well. just like any other metal hook or plastic hook. You know, you wedge this thing under the little hook divider, the little loom thingies that keep it, you know, connected, and then you can wedge them off. Don't know if anyone ever uses that, but it's really, really useful. More people need to know about that trick. But yeah, this is like the same thing as my pink one, except the tan version that comes with looms and such. So there's that. And then last but not least, obviously, we have the loom itself. This thing is cool. And it has the official Rainbow Loom, you know, Rainbow Loom words here, so you know whether or not you got a counterfeit. If it doesn't have it here, then you probably want to make sure that your kit is authentic, because, you know, counterfeits are more common than we want. But anyways, on here there are 7 pegs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and obviously 7 on the other side. So you do 7 row designs, or you can do less than that. I really don't want to limit you, but 7 is probably the best because there's more design possibilities. And up here there's this little hole that your hook won't fit in, but you can like cram a normal band in there. Let me try it with this clear band that I have as a demonstration. Probably, well, it won't fit because I'm not concentrating well enough, but you can cram it in there and then hook it and then make like a little design on it, or just a single chain, and then you can like attach it to a key ring and then put this on your backpack or like a purse or travel bag or anything. That way you can do it while you travel. And of course you got to keep this thing in your pocket or whatever, and yeah, it's easy to travel with. And stuff that has the little holes like this, it's also on the monster tail, because it's also a little portable loom that you can take with you. But yeah, this is a lot easier to have than like a huge long loom to do these big designs with. Although you can do Alpha Loom designs on the Rainbow Loom, it's possible, but this is just an easier method to make them. And of course they give you these special bands and all. But yeah, this is like a whole complete kit. You don't need to be a previous loomer to do this. It's pretty easy to pick up, I'd say, since it's just like, you know, the Alpha designs. That's what they call them. They named this kit after Alpha friendship bracelets, I think, which are like pixely designs, just like the Alpha bracelets they want you to make with this type of thing. And yeah. But not only can you make Alpha designs with this, you can make any other peg designs, like 4 peg designs, 6 pegs, 7 pegs, if you can come up with anything. You can make non-linear Alpha designs on this as well. Just anything that you really want. Anything. And even monster tail stuff, if you like, you know, believe there's like 8 pegs on a monster tail, but you'd have to like rearrange a few things for it to fit, you know, slightly differently on this thing. But yeah, this is a nice thing. It's more versatile. But yes, very interesting kit. I am very pleased with this thing. It's very creative how they came up with this whole hooky thingy. And the hooks do appear to be the same like size and shape as like a normal hooky hook that you'd find on a normal just like singular hook like this. And yeah, I do like how they gave this little notches, because like if you want to adjust them all but like you don't want to accidentally hook anything or mess it up, then this is really nice to do that with. But yeah, overall I like how portable it is. I like how creative it is with the whole pixel designs, and it's easier design for people who aren't like into the, you know, weird and interesting and different loopings type of stuff. They're really good for people who just like pixel designs and who find that easier to create. And yeah, one more thing. I'm gonna get out my phone. Whoop-de-doo. May not have told you this, but I did get the newfangled Galaxy S6. Right here is this site called friendshipbracelets.net. Don't want to like do anything weird, but anyways, my account name is called Claire's Hairs, Claire's_hairs, right here. And I have other designs, like those friendship bracelet designs. Some of them are my designs, like the ones I've been posting on Instagram and stuff. So I have a bunch of patterns here, and under Alpha Patterns, which is the second thing down, my camera's not zooming, but it's the second thing down. That's where you'll find designs that I make for the Alpha Loom, just off Alpha Patterns. Right now I have 0, but that's because I'm waiting for them to accept my designs that I submitted. They have to approve them and everything. And yeah, so I just made a bunch of designs. I can show you them right now. They're under my pending designs list. And you don't need an account to use this site. You can just like go on it without an account. But yeah, just gonna show you these real fast. I made a bunch of designs, some of them based off of other designs just made for the Alpha Loom. But yeah, here's all the ones that I made. And when designing your own designs, you're gonna wanna like, you know, measure your wrist and note how many pixels or whatever you use, and how fat you want your bracelet, which is probably, you know, 7 pixels. That's how fat you want it most of the time to make it bigger and more, you know, more useful for making designs. And yeah, hopefully these will all get accepted. The ones that I used were like 49 pixels long and 7 pixels wide, and yeah, that's because those would fit my wrist the best and they were easiest to design with. Like if I was doing something, you know, that had a bunch of repeating designs and I wanted all the squares to be even or whatever, and they were nice for that. As you can see, I did a little kawaii little bow thing. And yeah, but hopefully these will all get accepted. I'm sorry my camera's not focusing right now, but yeah, there's that. Hopefully they should get accepted like tomorrow or the next day. But if they get rejected, I'm sorry guys. I'll probably like sketch them out on like graph paper and show them to y'all. But yeah, I want to try out one of these designs after this video and then put it as the thumbnail picture or something like that, or like come in again in the video and just show it to you guys on the loom or whatever and tell you about my experience looming with this thing so far. But yeah, again, friendship-bracelets.net. Right here, friendship-bracelets.net is the site that I go to do this. And to make your own, you just go under the tab that says Generate, which is the third one here. It's not reading, but anyways. Then you go down here to where it says Alpha. And it doesn't work on phones, I don't think. They don't have an app or anything, so you'll have to use your computer. But you just tap on Alpha, and then there are like buttons to like increase your pixels, decrease them, make it wider or longer, and then you can like zoom in or zoom out on it so you can focus on one area better, or like look at the whole picture. I find it's easiest for me to look at the whole picture while I do it. And yeah, so there's that. So there's an easy site you can use to design your own. Graph paper if you don't have like a computer, or if you just want to sketch it out manually. And of course they give you the little templates with your kit. Again, make sure you count your pixels and everything. And yeah, hopefully you guys know how to work this thing. If you want, I can show you a video, but I'll probably just link in the description Justin's Toys. He made a video a while ago about like making these Alpha Loom type designs on the actual rainbow loom. And this is basically the same exact technique for that type of thing, except there are like 2 more spaces. I think he did his like 5, you know, pixels wide instead of like 7, because I do have a bracelet that has my name on it from a while ago when he posted that. But yeah, so there's that. I don't really know what else to say. I tried to be as thorough as I could. But there's the Alpha Loom. I'm very pleased with this product. I couldn't think how it could be really any better other than increasing the colors in this thing. Although that's kind of hard because, you know, they want to give you as many bands as they can, but they don't want to give you so many colors that there's going to be very few of a certain color and then you'll run out of that color quickly. But to solve that, they of course sell separate baggies. And they don't just sell, you know, these colors. They sell like pink, green, all sorts of colors. But I didn't want to buy all of them because I'm not sure, you know, I don't want to like mainly do Alpha Loom stuff. So I don't want to stock up on a bunch of Alpha Loom bands when I may not be doing this very often. So yeah, but you guys can suggest for me to make designs with this thing if you really want. And yeah, I mean, it's just pixel stuff. I mean, yeah. And another site that I might use sometimes is braceletbook.com. Like bracelet book, like all is one word, and then .com. And I think you might need your own account to like actually use the generator. I'm not quite sure, but you can actually generate stuff from photos Like you can submit a photo, although I'm not sure if it's really detailed. You might like not shrink it down to 7 pixels wide. But yeah, you can also use that site. It's basically the same exact thing to like generate your own designs. You can control the amount of rows and, you know, length and stuff. And yeah, I think friendshipbracelets.net is one of my more favorites out of the two, because you can use any colors you want. Bracelet Book won't let you use black because you can't see the pixels as easily. But friendshipbracelets.net doesn't really care about that. And yeah, and on both sites you do need accounts to submit them on your account for other people to see. But you don't have to give them any like huge personal information. I think they might need your email or your parents' email, so you'll definitely have to ask for that. And yes, that's almost all I can think of. But you can like take a screenshot of it on your computer, since you can't submit it if you don't have an account, if you really want to. Or you can like print that page after you're done with it. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say, I think. I'm pretty darn sure I've covered everything. And I believe I will go off camera and make a design, one of those designs that I had pending right now, and try it out with both double capped bands and the Alpha Loom bands and tell you all about it. So I'm going to go do that right now. Alright, I'm back. I've just used my Alpha Loom to make this bracelet right here. It's one of my designs I came up with. What I did is I took all my pending designs right now. 3 of these just uploaded to the site. They just got confirmed. I don't remember which 3, but 3 of them. I think the bow was one of them. But anyways, what I did to get all of them on the same sheet is I just saved them to my computer and then opened them up as an image in Microsoft Word, and then just kind of scoodled them around a little bit. Scoodled is totally a word. And now they're all on this sheet. If I can, I will link to it in the description, but probably by the time my video is out, all my designs will have been accepted anyways. Hopefully. But anyways, back to the bracelet. This bracelet here was the first design here on the bottom that I had. And I think it turned out pretty well. It was one of the like disappearing designs. This design was based off other friendship bracelets designs I've seen. Thought I'd just mention that. It's not 100% original, but I just condensed it to make it, you know, small enough for an Alpha Loom. But anyways, I think it turned out pretty darn well. In this bracelet, I used double looped normal rainbow loom bands that I just had, you know, for normal looming stuff. But I used the white bands that are for the Alpha Loom. And I'm going to have to mention, it's probably best that you use like either capped rainbow loom bands, like all capped rainbow loom bands, or all Alpha Loom bands in a bracelet. It'd probably look best that way. At least that's what I think by looking at this bracelet. But about the looping and looming process, they say in the kit that you can use all of these at once, all these little picks at once, to like loop 7 times faster. But when it comes to like bracelets with double capped bands in them, I was so afraid that I was gonna loop something wrong with the cap bands. Like, since there are 2 bands as part of a cap band and you need to loop them over as one, that I didn't loop all 7 at the same time, which is just, you know, me trying to be careful and all that. But if you do use all Alpha Loom bands, I'd assume it would be way easier and you could loop all 7 at a time. Just thought I'd mention that. And yeah, and I didn't really use the hook much, except when I stretched out my cap bands. The Alpha Loom bands I didn't need to use my hook for. So again, if you're just using Alpha bands for a bracelet, then you can loop all of them at once, and you don't even need this little extra hook they gave you. And this is my hook, by the way, not the one that came with the kit. I just wanted to use my own, didn't think it would make a difference. But anyways, there's that. There's all my looping stuff. And the back, I finished it with clear C-clips, because I tried it out with those slightly larger colored C-clips. And I thought it just looked better with smaller C-clips. Thought I'd mention that. But anyways, this is the bracelet that came out. I think it's really nice. I made my designs kind of larger. That way it would be easier to put on my wrist. But as you can see, my wrist is pretty darn tiny and it's pretty loose on me. Although I don't really care since it doesn't really fall off my hand or anything like that. but I don't want to be being super tight on my wrist, because these bracelets aren't the stretchiest of bracelets, like the Alpha Loom type bracelets. They're just, this is as much as I can stretch it, literally. But yeah, it stretches when you put it on through your hand and onto your wrist. But anyways, I think that's all that I've covered about the looming. It was pretty easy. It wasn't any harder than I thought it would be. And I was able to loop multiple at a time, if not 7. I was able to loop like 2 or 3 at a time. That worked pretty well. But yeah, it should be really easy and fast to do, and you'd only need like these 2 things and bands if you're just using alpha bands. But anyways, there's that. I can, let's hope to find these uploaded onto the website soon. But anyways, there's my Alpha Loom review. If you have any questions, just be sure to ask in the description. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review video. I hope it wasn't too long, but I just wanted to be as thorough as I could. But anyways, bye-bye.